So I thought it might be a good idea to share some of the details of these gongs that I make, realizing that when you get a picture of it or a video, it's pretty much two-dimensional and it doesn't really show a lot of the details. So maybe if we take a look up close, you can see what really goes into one of the Soul Voyagers. This is a 40-inch, and each one of these is very different. They're designed differently, they're laid out differently, they're tonally different. There's many different acoustic characteristics to it. This one here is more of a brown color on the inside, and maybe in the video you can see there's a movement to the pattern within there where it's radiating out. There's some discoloration and some speckling in there that's broadcast out from the center. And then the other thing that's characteristic of these is the band of radial scraping, and typically that's going to be done off center. And I think on this one the central point here was on this boss, which creates a sense of movement in it when you look at it, because you're not looking at the center, the focus is on here and it's drawing your eye in. And the other thing on this one with this, the nipple or boss here, I didn't polish it or change the color of it. What I did is relied on the light being used to kind of illustrate and outline the shape of it there. And because of that boss, it creates a little bit of tension and it changes what happens around the rest of the membrane. The other thing I did was emboss out a pyramid on here and polish the center of it. That's highly reflective. That's a mirror finish in there. And again, this is pushed out, which again creates another tonal membrane in there that again is going to activate the rest of it. And then the other feature that distinguishes the Soul Voyagers is there's a secondary tuning ring. On a typical, say, German style gong, there's a tuning ring out here, and you can see that in all of them where the membrane is tightened and tension is put in there. But what the Soul Voyagers have is a secondary or tertiary membrane in here, and this one here is pushed in on this. So this whole thing is recessed back from this part here. And again, what happens is there's a different tension structure within here. There's a different one here, here, and again out here. So you combine that with a visual drawing of the eye, and then all of these different shapes being activated, creating different, I guess you'd call them sine waves to them. So when you hit here, it's going to activate differently than here. And if you have some kind of synesthesia, you might be inclined to feel the circular wave coming off of here, like the cymatic signature is going to be different off this part as opposed to this part or this part. And then again out here also, it's going to be very different. And when these start moving, all the light starts dancing around on the outside. And this one can jiggle quite a bit. And if you're right here in front of it, you would be able to sense the different cones of sound that are coming out of here. So there's overlapping waves and it creates a pulsing effect, which almost tends to be a little bit hypnagogic. So it really just sucks you right in to listen and really be curious about what all these different features do for the sound. And the other beauty of this is being 40 inches and having all this dynamic capability to it. It essentially acts like 4 or 5 different gongs. So it gives you a very diverse playing palette to it. And it hits that part where it becomes a pulse. And when you're up close, you start to feel that. This one has a really nice effect. It really, once you get going, all of that starts activating, and it just takes you to another world. the other beautiful thing about the Soul Voyager series is every one of them is different. Every one of them is going to sound different, and no two are going to sound the same. And I make these from 32 all the way up to 62. And what's great about this is you won't get bored playing it, and you won't hit it unconsciously. You won't just whack at it. You're going to want to follow the sound, and in that sound you create a sense of awe. You're fully present. You're listening to see where it changes and where it becomes different. While it may sound great in a large venue, if you're playing for other people, the magic of it is really directly in front of it, when you can really capitalize on all of that magic that's happening. Thanks for checking this out. Feel free to reach out if you have any more questions. This is available on my website, SeanAcetoSounds.com.